Your brain is lying to you while you rest. Even when you're not working, it's working against you, because your resting brain, the default mode network, is secretly rehearsing the self you'll become. And if your projects keep stalling, it encodes one brutal message: I am someone who doesn't finish. This is the silent trap nobody talks about, and escaping it might be the single most important decision you ever make. You plan to start a business, you set the vision, you imagine the freedom, but weeks pass. The setup feels heavy, you stall, and here's the real danger. It's not just that your business didn't move forward, it's that your brain noticed. The default mode network, or DMN, activates when you're daydreaming, resting, or reflecting. It stitches your life into a story, a narrative about who you are. When you stall, the DMN doesn't say, "Oh, this was just a delay." It says, "I am someone who doesn't follow through." That identity quietly repeats every time you rest, every time you scroll, every time you let the project slip. You're not just losing time. You're training your brain to believe failure is your story. Here's the science. The default mode network is a set of brain regions that lights up when you're not focused on an external task. It includes the medial prefrontal cortex and posterior cingulate cortex. It's the system responsible for weaving your past experiences into a coherent story, a narrative self. But the DMN is not neutral. It rehearses whatever pattern you feed it. If you start and stop, it encodes unfinished. If you stall, it encodes stuck. If you abandon, it encodes quitter. The longer the loop runs, the deeper the narrative digs in. Yes, you can scan a QR code from a video on your mobile phone by first capturing a screenshot of the video and then opening that screenshot in your phone's camera or a dedicated QR scanner app to get the link. Psychologists call this narrative identity theory. Humans don't live in raw experience. We live in stories. Every event, every decision becomes part of a narrative thread. Over time, that story shapes how we act. The problem is simple. When your story repeats failure, you stop even attempting success. And it's not conscious. It happens invisibly during rest. This is the default mode hijack. The story of not finishing becomes the script for your future self. But the opposite is also true. Progress, even small, pre-built progress, rewrites the script. When you see a funnel already 98% complete, your DMN encodes a different identity. I am someone who executes. The narrative shifts. The self-rehearsed at rest becomes the self of progress, not paralysis. And here's the kicker. Your brain doesn't care how the progress happened. It only cares that it sees progress. How to scan this QR code on your mobile phone by first capturing a screenshot of the video and then opening that screenshot in your phone's camera or a dedicated QR scanner app to get the link. Think about what this really means. You're not just building a business, you're writing your autobiography. Every success, every system, every funnel, it's a chapter in the story of who you are becoming. Without progress, your brain scripts failure. With progress, your brain scripts identity. This isn't about funnels. This isn't about tech. This is about your future self. Who do you want to become when your brain is at rest? The person who never finishes, or the person who always moves forward? This is why done-for-you funnels are more than convenience. They're identity architecture. They give your DMN the evidence it needs to script a new story. One where you finish, one where you execute, one where your future self is unstoppable. Every time you log in and see a system already running, your brain encodes proof. I am the kind of person who finishes. And the more often you see that proof, the deeper the identity sets. That's why beginners thrive in this environment. They don't carry the baggage of past stalls. They step into a system that rewrites the script instantly. Discipline becomes destiny, not because you forced it, but because your environment scripted it for you. The default mode hijack is happening whether you notice it or not. Every day, your resting brain rehearses a self you'll soon believe. The only question is, will that story be one of unfinished projects and endless stalls? Or will it be the story of someone who executes, Someone whose very identity is success in motion? Funnels don't just build businesses, they rewrite autobiographies. And the next chapter of yours can begin right now. Discover how at Superfunnel Academy. The training is free, the system is done for you, and the story you rehearse at rest is about to change forever.